Hello folks, welcome to our cottage on this beautiful mid-July morning. It just could not be any nicer. And I hope you can hear all those birds that are singing. There's sparrows, vireos, and I heard an ovenbird just a minute ago. And a loon out in the lake, it couldn't be much nicer. And it's all stress-free. Well, today folks, I get to do a little work with Betsy the chainsaw. You know what? I'm really looking forward to it. There's no stress, no hurry, just fun in the woods. This poor old balsam fir got damaged last year. You can see the big split in it right here. In a derecho windstorm that went through this area. It was horrific. We were actually here at the camp when the windstorm went through, and I've never experienced anything like it in my life. It literally flattened thousands of acres of timber up here, even hardwood timber. There was a big pine growth, a couple miles away from here, and it literally destroyed over 100 acres of pine. And what it didn't pull up by the roots, it broke off 20 or 30 feet in the area. Well, we're very fortunate. So here, the damage was really minimal. We had a poplar, some big poplar go down, a lot of the balsam fir went down, and a few other trees that weren't maybe the healthiest. And unfortunately, some large white pine that were kind of landmarks in this area for, well, over 100 years. Just over there, it took the top off them both. But we survived, our cottage survived, our camp survived, and we had one hole in the roof in one of our sheds where a piece of that poplar, when it came down the top, came down through it. Well, today we're going to cut this down, we're going to dispose of it, and then we've got a white cedar over here that's not doing so well, and I've planted a lot of spruce and pine around it. And it's time to take that cedar down to let some sunlight to those other trees that are just waiting for daylight to spring up and grow. You'll notice this tree has quite a lean to it, so I'm going to cut it quite high, and hopefully I can get the butt to slide out that direction, and I'll probably end up taking it down in chunks because that top is pretty tight on a little black ash there and a soft maple there. But I think before we get started, I better move a couple of canoes just in case. There we go. All that's left now is to clean up the mess. Here's the white cedar I mentioned to you earlier. And as you can see, this heart, it's completely gone out of the tree. So, you know what? I could leave it here and it would probably last for a long time. But if I take it down, I've planted a lot of white and black spruce in here behind. As soon as they get the sunlight and they're not competing for daylight and energy and resources with this white cedar, they'll come to life as well. And can you imagine the benefit it'll be for this little white birch? Now I will tell you, the tree's got a tremendous bough in it, and it's leaning that way, and I'd like to fall it out there. If it goes down there, oh well, it's not so bad. But it's one of those challenges that we all look forward to. Well, let's see what we can do. Timber, and that's perfect. Thank you, Father. Oh my goodness. I'm so pleased with where that fell. All right, now we'll limb it up, and I'm going to save some of those chunks. Just listen to those birds. Aren't they magnificent? Oh folks, I've enjoyed this job so much. And I'm so thankful here that I was able to get that butt off and leave that white birch and not touch it. I've made a few relief cuts so that tree can grow and expand and not be constricted by the stump. So I'm going to grab these 3 pieces of the butt that are rotten, add them to the brush pile. I'm going to get a rake up the pieces in the lawn, and then after that we're going to call it quits. And then my wife and I are going to head down there to the dock and jump in and enjoy a swim. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you again on Out of the House with Paul.